Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight there is lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be giving you some more additional information on Alexis Sanchez, because I have been talking with you guys about Sanchez I think on my recent videos. I'll give you an update about him earlier on this week. But these huge developments on him anyway, so I am going to talk about him. Also going to be talking with you a bit more about Jadon Sancho. So now I have been keeping you up to date about Jadon Sancho on a regular basis. Obviously, reflecting on some of Ed Woodward's comments, Jadon Sancho's transfer now to Manchester United is in doubt. Also going to be talking with you about Jack Grealish. And also there's more topics to delve into a bit later on in the video, and also going to talk with you a bit more about Paul Pogba. So there are all the topics on this video. So let's start with the news regarding Alexis Sanchez. So Alexis Sanchez is facing a dilemma. Now the main explanation for this is because Inter Milan are unwilling to get Alexis Sanchez on a permanent transfer. And of course, we don't want Alexis Sanchez back at Manchester United. So basically, we're struggling to offload Alexis Sanchez on a permanent transfer. But the main explanation for this is reflecting on his substantial wages. Because obviously, Sanchez, wages at Manchester United are £400,000 a week. Potentially rising up to £500,000 a week based on the image rights and the bonuses. So yeah, his wages, like I said, are really having a bad effect on the football club. But of course, last summer we loaned Alexis Sanchez out to Inter Milan, and I've got to say he's endured a very, very difficult time with Inter Milan. I think he's only made like 2 starts, or is it 1 start in the Serie A, because I think he has been out with an ankle injury. But despite the fact that Sanchez is on loan at Inter Milan, we're still paying the vast majority of his wages. We're still paying him like £300,000 a week, and Inter Milan I think are paying him around £100,000 a week. So yeah, but his international manager came out recently, like he updated you earlier on this week, and he was basically saying that Sanchez has endured a traumatic, torturous year. So he was saying he's endured a very difficult time at Inter Milan. He endured a very, very difficult 18 months at Manchester United. Of course, we got Sanchez from Arsenal back in January 2018 as part of a swap deal of Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal. And of course, Sanchez didn't live up to expectations at Manchester United as we all thought he would have done. Because I thought it would have been an exceptional signing for us when we got him in, reflecting on what he did in his 3.5, 4 years with Arsenal. Also did very, very well at Barcelona when he was younger under Pep Guardiola's guidance and that. And Sanchez now I think is in his early 30s, and he's also very, very versatile. But some people out there believe that we should give him a second opportunity at Manchester United. Paul Merson, he came out quite a few weeks ago and he actually said, if we're to give Sanchez another chance at the club, he'll be able to rediscover his form that he produced at Arsenal and Barcelona. But, I just think, we need to try as hard as we can, to try and offload him on a permanent transfer. But reports did say the other week anyway that Sanchez is expected to come back to Manchester United and see out the remainder of his contract. And Sanchez has got a contract with the football club until 2022. So yeah, so Sanchez is facing a dilemma. So what's going to happen now with his career? That we don't want him back, and obviously, Inter Milan don't want to get him permanently. What is going to happen with Alexis Sanchez? So that is the latest news regarding Sanchez. So now let's delve into the news regarding Jadon Sancho. Let's delve into the news regarding Jadon Sancho. So, the news is regarding Jadon Sancho, like I updated you earlier on today. I think Jadon Sancho now to Manchester United is in doubt, because like I updated you on my recent videos, Ed Woodward of course has been talking, and he's ruled big transfers, for when the transfer market does reopen, because obviously, a lot of teams have got financial difficulties due to this coronavirus pandemic. And that. And Ed Woodward basically, believes that, Manchester United won't spend big when the transfer market does reopen. Now, of course, we know how much Jadon Sancho is going to cost us. It's already been revealed. It was revealed a long time ago how much Jadon Sancho is going to cost us, and we have been aware of that. And we've basically said we are determined to pay it. Of course, Borussia Dortmund have said they want at least £100 million for Jadon Sancho. Some reports have said they could demand up to £120 million for Sancho, but either figure would make him the most expensive player at Manchester United. It'd make him a record signing in the Premier League, and it would make him the most expensive player in British history, Jadon Sancho and that. But, maybe we won't be getting him now. And, Gary Neville's give his verdict on Jadon Sancho, and he actually, believes from his own perception, it is too early to say that Jadon Sancho is one of, the best in the world. Now, obviously, before Ed Woodward, came out, before he came out of all this, I think it was yesterday he came out of this regarding our transfer business and that, because he actually, told our fans forum. But before that came out, he did actually, say anyway that Jadon Sancho could stay at Borussia Dortmund. He could stay at Borussia Dortmund because it did say that Borussia Dortmund believe they can convince Jadon Sancho to stay and sign a one-year contract worth around £9 million a year. Obviously, if this was to happen and he was to sign this, a new contract worth £9 million per year, it would make him the second highest paid player at Borussia Dortmund, just behind Marco Reus, because Marco Reus is Borussia Dortmund's highest paid player at the moment. Yeah. But yeah, so Jadon Sancho has been one of our priority targets. Jadon Sancho's, in a way, he has reiterated it because he has revealed his preference is a move to Manchester United if he does leave Borussia Dortmund. And I think it was back in February, and this was stemming from Sky in Germany, and they'd actually said that Borussia Dortmund, Jadon Sancho, does want to leave Borussia Dortmund at the end of the season. It did say back in 2017, this was before Sancho joined Borussia Dortmund, Manchester United were very, very close to signing the player. So yeah, like I mentioned, we have been relentlessly linked with him. Now, of course, on Monday of this week, that is, it actually said from the Sun, and I know Sun isn't a reliable source, like Sky Sports and the BBC and that, but the Sun came out and said, we'd agreed personal terms with Jadon Sancho. So what it said, if you'd have delved into the if you'd have delved into the report, it said, we'd agreed everything with Jadon Sancho except the fee. So it said, his contract had been agreed, his salary, his bonuses, and his huge buyout clause. It said the only thing that hasn't been agreed is a fee between Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund and that. So this is what it had said. But it was totally contrast to what was coming out later on this week, because it actually said that we've not opened up any further more negotiations over signing Jadon Sancho, and there's been no agreement, between Manchester United and the player. So that was stemming from the German press a bit earlier on this week. Now, I'd like Jadon Sancho at Manchester United, and I've already gone through with you, I think the beneficial things about, us recommending Jadon Sancho in is that, Sancho is well proven in the Premier League. Don't forget, before he was at Dortmund, he endured 2 years with Manchester City, but never really got assured any first team opportunities at Man City, and that's the main explanation why he left City to join Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, before he was at City, he was at Watford, and he was at Watford for several years, so Jadon Sancho actually began his career in London. And yeah, so he's well proven in the Premier League, and I think another beneficial thing about, Man United recommending him in, we may not now, but another beneficial thing is that he's got a really, really good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Sancho and Rashford know each other really, really well, and like Marcus Rashford did reveal, he wants Jadon Sancho at Manchester United next season, because I think, Jadon Sancho would go well in our attacking line alongside the likes of Greenwood, Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial. But yeah, but also, Man United, we're not the only club that have been in for him. Don't forget Chelsea have also been in for Jadon Sancho. To be quite honest with you, I'm very, very, sceptical now that Chelsea are going to sign him anyway, because Chelsea, I think, have actually, dropped out of the race now. Jadon Sancho is actually not a lifelong Chelsea fan, because he revealed this not too long ago. Liverpool were in for him, but they're no longer in for him now. PSG, of course, have been in for him. So numerous clubs have been interested in Jadon Sancho. It did come out the other week saying, you know, if we were to fail to qualify for the Champions League anyway, Jadon Sancho could reject a move to Man United, and that was the main explanation why we missed out on him last year. That was, you know, the main explanation. But it did reveal that we have been working on Jadon Sancho's contract for, you know, quite some time. We've also been in negotiations with his agent, I think, for the last 2 or 3 months, is it? So yeah, you know, we're trying to do everything we can to try and get Jadon Sancho in. And now obviously, you know, reflects on what Ed Woodward said, we could, you know, miss out on the player, because Ed Woodward has given us a transfer warning, you know, what he's come out and said yesterday, because he said, you know, we may not do business as usual in the summer transfer market, and, you know, we won't be, you know, we won't be spending big in the market and that. So obviously, you know, now Jadon Sancho looks in doubt. But if Borussia Dortmund were to sell him, you know, when the transfer market reopens, they would make a huge profit on the player, because Dortmund only paid £7 or £8 million for him from Man City, don't forget. But yeah, so maybe, you know, now Sancho could be remaining loyal to Dortmund at least for another year. I don't think he'll be there for the foreseeable future, you know, maybe he could be there for another season, of course, if he doesn't leave when the transfer market does reopen and that. So yeah, Jadon Sancho now to Manchester United is in doubt, definitely. But like I said, he is predominantly a right winger, and Manchester United, of course, are in search for a right winger, because we haven't had a natural right winger, I think, since we had Wilfried Zaha, if I'm right, you know, back under the Ferguson era. It was actually Alex Ferguson's last signing he made before he retired in 2013. I think we paid around £10 million for Zaha, but we had to obviously, you know, let him go due to limited appearances. Didn't really get any opportunities, you know, Wilfried Zaha. But I've got to say, he has done very, very well at Crystal Palace as the player. And Jadon Sancho, I think, still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. So he's still got like 2 years remaining on his contract. Just turned the age of 20 as well. So yeah, so that's the latest news regarding Jadon Sancho. Now, let's delve into the news on Jack Grealish, because I have been keeping you up to date of what's been going on with Jack Grealish on a regular basis. Now, also to Jack Grealish to Manchester United, it looks in doubt. Now, obviously, you know, we have got a controversial plan if, you know, if we do, you know, sign Jack Grealish when the transfer market does reopen. And it says reportedly, you know, we're planning to use Jack Grealish as a right winger if he does come to Manchester United now. So that would be, basically, you know, we'll be playing him in the wrong position, because, you know, Jack Grealish is predominantly an attacking midfielder. I think for the vast majority of this season, though, he's been playing on the left wing for Aston Villa. Now, obviously, we do know already how much Jack Grealish will cost us. You know, he's going to cost us from 70 to 80 million pounds, I think. That's if Villa get relegated. That's if Villa avoid relegation, sorry. But I think if Villa were to get relegated, you'd probably get Jack Grealish for, you know, cheaper than 70 or 80 million pounds. I think Jack Grealish has already made an admission, and, you know, he basically said he wants to leave Aston Villa. There's a few clubs that have been in for him, like I mentioned. You know, Everton have recently been in for him. Tottenham have been relentlessly linked with him, don't forget. Back in the summer of 2018, Tottenham were very, very close to getting Jack Grealish, but they didn't get him. I think for around £25 million, yes. So Man City have been in for him. So a few clubs have been in for him. Now, Jack Grealish has remained loyal to Aston Villa for several years. Well, up until this point, Grealish has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa. You know, he's been a Villa player since the age of 6. He's been in their senior squad since 2014. And I've got to say, since then, he has become key. He has become an integral part to Aston Villa's team. And I've got to say, he was key for them getting to the Carabao Cup final this season. He was also key for their promotion to the Premier League. Grealish has still got 3 years remaining on his contract with Villa. He is under contract with them until 2023, is Jack Grealish. Yeah, he is. And he's 24 years of age, I think, so he is still very, very young. But yeah, he has been on our agenda as Jack Grealish for quite some time. So there you go. That had cost us a lot of money if we was to get Sancho and Grealish in. You know, that had cost us, you know, around £200 million or just under £200 million for both of them. So I can't see Jack Grealish now coming to Man United. Same, you know, perception with Sancho and that. And obviously, you know, other players as well are added into the equation. But obviously, you know, revert back to last month. Obviously, you know, reflecting on the incident with his £80,000 Range Rover. Obviously, you know, Jack Grealish had been fined, I think, 150,000. Obviously, he come out and publicly apologised, obviously, of what he'd done. And he'd advised people to stay at home with Jack Grealish, just hours, I think, before the incident. But reflects on the incident, he said his move to Manchester United anyway would be in doubt for the summer transfer window and that. But we did say, our preference would be Jack Grealish over James Maddison, and I think, Solskjaer has obviously, got a few main explanations for that. Obviously, we know that Harry Kane isn't going to be coming now, so I'm going to I've already fully disregarded it. Solskjaer confirmed that early on this week, or was it last week? He's glad that we're not spending up to 200 million on Kane. Far too much money. And Solskjaer believes from his own perception that Rashford is just as good. Rashford is just as good as Harry Kane, basically. And also, too, maybe it could impact the development on Mason Greenwood. So these are the couple of main explanations, why he's happy that we're not getting Harry Kane in. But there you go. I also got to say as well, I think, Kalidou Koulibaly is a doubt to Manchester United. Like I updated you yesterday anyway, it said, that we're no longer in for Kalidou Koulibaly, even though Solskjaer has regarded him as one of the best centre-halves in the world. There's been reports emerging out saying that we could get a centre-back, and there's been a few centre-backs on our agenda, but I don't think we will get a centre-back because we've got a lot of centre-backs in the team as it is now. We've got Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first-choice centre-halves. You've got Bailly and Tuanzebe that are our backups. You've got Fosu Mensah that can play as a centre-half. You've got Smalling, Rojo and Jones as well. Yeah, so we've got far too many centre-halves in the team, to be quite honest with you. But, there's more priority areas, that do need strengthening up. So let's just make that admission. Now, the news is on Paul Pogba. I have been talking with you a lot about Paul Pogba throughout the course of today. Now, reportedly, Ed Woodward has made a decision on Paul Pogba. And reportedly, Ed Woodward is going to decide to sell Paul Pogba when the transfer market does reopen. Now, it did say, we would accept around £70 million for Paul Pogba. So that's around £19 million less than what we paid for him. And I did say, didn't I, it's very imperative, that we get more money for Pogba than we paid for him if we do sell him in the summer transfer market. Pogba, he's worth, I've got to say, at least £100 million, maybe even more than £100 million and that. Like I've updated you today, with a PSG and that, PSG, this is stemming from the Italian and French press. They've said, that PSG have offered two of their players in a swap deal for Paul Pogba. And the two players that they have offered is Julian Draxler and Angel Di Maria. Of course, Angel Di Maria is a former Manchester United player. Don't forget we got him back under the Louis van Gaal era. Angel Di Maria. Di Maria did enjoy one season with the football club. I think it was one season. To be fair, Di Maria enjoyed a good start to his Manchester United career. Of course, we paid around, was it just under £60 million for him from Real Madrid. Sorry, not PSG, Real Madrid. And of course, a year later we sold him to PSG for just under £50 million. Now, Angel Di Maria is into his fifth season with Paris Saint-Germain. But like I've mentioned before, it's very rare that players go back to their former clubs. We have seen it happen. It happened with Diego Costa. I think it happened with Morata, David Luiz. Also happened with Wayne Rooney. I think, happened with Wilfred Zaha as well, don't forget. So sometimes, it does happen, but it is just very, very rare. Just like swap deals in the modern game are also very, very rare. But maybe, some Man United fans would take Angel Di Maria back. I think, United fans are very, very shocked that PSG have, put this offer in the first place. But yeah, so they've offered two players, in a swap deal for Pogba. I don't know if there's any fee involved, I'm not too sure about that. But I don't think Pogba will go to PSG anywhere. I'll reiterate what I've said on my recent videos. I think if he leaves Man United, I think he'll either go to Real Madrid. If he doesn't go to Real Madrid, he will make a return back to Juventus. Because Pogba did enjoy 4 good years in Turin with Juventus. And since he rejoined Man United, the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally comparison to his ones in Turin. Because he has been, analysing the vast majority of Pogba's career with Man United, he has been, very, very inconsistent, let's be honest. I think we probably saw the best of Pogba in that 3-month period, of course, when Solskjaer was the interim manager. So I just want to make an admission on that. Obviously, revert back to last summer, of course, Real Madrid were relentlessly linked with Paul Pogba. Because Paul Pogba, said he wanted to leave the football club last summer because he was seeking for a new challenge, and he publicly admitted that he wanted to leave and stuff like that. And he wanted to, rejuvenate his career and stuff. And he was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year, about his dreams of playing under Zinedine Zidane's guidance. And the main explanation, like I've said before, why his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise last summer was reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him. We wanted £180 million for him last summer, and that would have made him one of the most expensive players in the world, if that would have gone through. But Real Madrid were not willing to pay the £180 million that we was demanding for him. So basically, we was just demanding over double than what we paid for him from Juventus. But reports were coming from the French press yesterday saying that, Zinedine Zidane has revealed that he wants Paul Pogba. Real Madrid have identified Paul Pogba as their number one priority target, and could be playing his trade in Spain next season. Could Paul Pogba obviously hasn't played in Spain as yet up until this point. He's obviously played in Italy and England. Obviously Real Madrid like I said did recruit a good 5 or 6 players in last summer. And spent in the 200 or 300 million pound range on them. But they're looking to do more transfer business, and of course. They want to get rid of players to Madrid. They obviously want to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. They want to get rid of Gareth Bale. Karim Benzema's coming to an end of his career. They want to get rid of James Rodriguez. They're looking to get rid of Luka Jovic as well, because he hasn't been so good for Real Madrid since his arrival from Frankfurt, was it last summer? But Real Madrid have got quite a few other midfielders on their agenda. Don't forget, he recently said that they're in for Eduardo Camavinga from Rennes, to be quite honest with you. But last summer, Paul Pogba's priority, was definitely to get that move to Real Madrid, but it didn't materialise. Obviously, Barcelona have been in for him in the past. Don't forget, recent reports, and it was stemming from Tutto Sport, which is an Italian source, and, they said also that Inter Milan have expressed their interest in Paul Pogba. Of course, Inter Milan have already recruited 3 players off us. They've got Ashley Young off us, Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez. So they're the 3 players that they have recruited off us into Milan. Inter Milan, of course, have got Mario Icardi out on loan with PSG. I think, Inter Milan probably will be planning to try and get rid of Icardi on a permanent transfer, so then they can fund the move for Pogba. I think Inter Milan have said they want around £60 million to get rid of Mario Icardi on a permanent transfer and that. But I don't think, Paul Pogba, will go to Inter Milan. Like I've said, Paul Pogba's appearances have been limited this season at Manchester United due to his injuries. He's only played 8 times this season for the football club. And he recently, gave an interview to the United podcast, talking about, the issues he's had with injuries throughout the course of this season. I think he did have the surgery on his ankle back in January and that. Obviously, he was talking about, what convinced him to leave Man United when, joined Juventus in 2012. Because obviously his appearances were limited, Paul Pogba's, when we had him under Ferguson, when he was a lot younger. Don't forget, Pogba's recently responded to the criticism, that I did receive from Graham Souness, because Graham Souness has been criticising him persistently in that. Alan Shearer, believes we've made a decision on Paul Pogba's future. Paul Pogba, by the way, has got exactly now, I think, a year left on his contract, because we have decided not to trigger that 1-year extension on his contract in that. Maybe we could still do that, but we haven't decided to do it as yet. But obviously, was it over a month ago now, Pogba said he was interested in staying at the club, and, he had Solskjaer then saying that Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United next season. But, there's a lot of uncertainty over his future, definitely in that. There's a lot of uncertainty over his future. Mini Raiola, I think, wants to get his client a transfer away from Manchester United completed. So, we have made a decision, we are determined to sell Paul Pogba, because that came from Sky Sports, recently. There's been a few, swap deals on the agenda. There was talks of Ramsey the other week coming as part of a swap deal, probably going back to Juventus. There's been talks of Matty Stillet, of course, as part of a swap deal as well. So, swap deals have definitely, been on the agenda. So, that is the latest news regarding Paul Pogba. That is the latest news, regarding Paul Pogba. And obviously, like I've said to these so many players on Manchester United's agenda. We have got a total of is it 14 or 15 players on our agenda, but the question is, who are we going to sign when the transfer market does reopen? Who are we going to sign? That is the question. Now, of course, it was good, what Solskjaer came out and said quite a few weeks ago, because he did say, we will exploit the transfer market when it does reopen and that. So he did say, he was very, very convinced, that we can get the right caliber players in, when the transfer market does reopen. But obviously that's contrast now, to reflecting on what Ed Woodward has recently said. And I've got to make an admission, I think we have improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. What I mean is, I think, we've been a bit more sensible with our recruitment. Of course, Solskjaer's, recruited 5 players in 3 transfer windows, and obviously, spent around £220 million. And got to credit him, because I've got to credit him, for the players that he has brought in so far. He brought Daniel James in last summer. He brought Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January, he brought Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in. And I've got to say, Bruno Fernandes has definitely made the difference in the team. One of the best players we have recruited in since the Alex Ferguson era. I've got to make that admission. And reflecting on Bruno Fernandes' performances, he won Premier League Player of the Month for February. But definitely, the foreseeable future for Manchester United is Bruno Fernandes. With Odion Ighalo, I think, we should get him on a permanent transfer, but obviously, we haven't got him on a permanent transfer as yet. It will cost us around £15 million to get Odion Ighalo in on a permanent transfer and that, but we will see what happens with that. But Solskjaer, as you all know, has already, revealed his transfer strategy, and his transfer strategy is to continue the policy of recruiting young British players to Manchester United like he did do last summer, because 3 of the 5 players that Solskjaer recruited in last summer, of course, are British. So let's just put that into the equation and stuff like that. But, Solskjaer has been here for 16 months. So he has been at the football club over the year. And I think I can almost assure, I can't guarantee, but I can almost assure that Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager next season. Obviously, analysing his 16 months tenure, this is including, the 3 months when he was the interim manager. There has been, ups and downs. We've had some bad periods and we've had some good periods. Obviously, when Solskjaer was the interim manager, he did really, really well in that 3-month period and that. And this is, why he did get the job on a permanent basis. So let's just put that into the equation. Yeah. But like I've said before, I think, Solskjaer does deserve more time at Manchester United. He deserves at least a couple of more transfer windows, to see who else he can recommend him, because it does take some managers time to settle in. Of course, don't forget Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club when we recommended him in from Aberdeen back in 1986. He didn't win out in his first 4 years, Alex Ferguson. And our board were talking about sacking him. I think he was 1 game away from getting the sack, but he didn't. Then look what he went and accomplished after that 4 years and not winning anything. One of the most decorated managers of all time. I think we won a total of 38 trophies under the Alex Ferguson era and that. Like I said before as well, Jurgen Klopp didn't settle in straight away at Liverpool. It took him time to emulate to a level that he's at now. So yes, some managers do deserve time. Definitely, and it is a transition period, and Solskjaer is hopeful that we can get through this transition period. But it's been a transition period with Man United for quite a long time. By the way, I've just been reading recent reports regarding Mike Phelan, who of course is Manchester United's number 2, and he's come out and outlined the reasons why Solskjaer has changed formation a lot, throughout the course of this season. I think, Mike Phelan has revealed his best formation. I think he said the 3-4-3. I think he also did say he likes the 4-3-3, because I think we went a lot with that 4-3-3 when Solskjaer, was the, interim manager. But on a regular basis this season, Solskjaer has been going with that 4-2-3-1 formation. But from my own perception, that formation doesn't really seem to suit our standards. I think, we look more expansive with 3 at the back, definitely. And Solskjaer's really gone with 3 at the back. He's really gone with 3 at the back, in like the big games. So I've credited Solskjaer for that, haven't I? I think Solskjaer's a approach to the big games, you know, have been very, very good. And we've registered like 17 points against the big six sides, you know, this season, you know, which is very, very impressive. But our approach to the small games, you know, haven't been so good. So that's something, you know, Manchester United do need to improve on. And, you know, we was in a good run of form before the football season got suspended because, you know, a lot of aspects of our game had improved. As football looks more expansive. And we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. So let's just put that into the equation. And we have enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season for like 30 years. But look on the positive, you know, when the football season does eventually resume, you know, we've still got the FA Cup to look forward to because we're in the quarter final. You know, we've got the Europa League to look forward to because we're in the last eight. And that is a chance of us, you know, getting some silverware on the board. So let's just put that into the equation as well. And Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in, like I've mentioned. I think we've got rid of like 9 players, you know, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in. And he's planning to get rid of around 5 or 6 players, is Solskjaer, you know, when the transfer market does reopen. I think we are hoping to, you know, generate around £100 million for, you know, for the 5 or 6 players, you know, that we do get rid of. So that, you can say that will increase our transfer budget, but like I said, our spending is going to be limited, like Ed Woodward's confirmed, due to this coronavirus pandemic and that. But like I've said, you know, we have been playing catch up for the last 6 or 7 years. You know, we've had different managers with different philosophies. Of course, you know, we got rid of Moyes, we got rid of Van Gaal, and, you know, we got rid of Jose Mourinho. And, you know, we've sacked 3 managers, and Man United are not really known for the sacking football club, so we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers persistently in that. But yeah, but I just can't wait until the football season resumes. You know, like I confirmed with you on my recent video, I think it's still uploading. It actually, you know, did say that the Premier League will return within weeks. I don't think it's given an exact date yet, you know, when it's going to return, but it is going to return. I think games will be will be on TV for free. Well, it could be on TV for free because, you know, this rest of the season, you know, will be played behind closed doors. Don't forget. And I think, you know, they're planning on finishing the season on by the 31st of July, so Champions League and the Europa League games can be played in August. So you already know that. So the season's going to resume anyway, so, you know, if obviously, you know, we finish 4th or 5th, then obviously, you know, we're going to get qualification for the Champions League and that. So yeah, so that's everything to update you today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.